Hey, good evening. My name is Ross Nova, and I am tired. But like I said, I was up at 5 o'clock this morning. Started the truck, warmed it up. I was gone by 6 o'clock, delivering all the way up north to Duluth and back, and then did a few more extra trips around Minneapolis, and then called it quits around 5 o'clock this afternoon. I did do a couple of videos, beautiful videos. Had a little fun with the flags behind me. I love this setup. This is perfect. I might just continue doing this setup. I'm actually sitting on a ladder because I don't have a I don't have a stool. I gotta make it work with the budget. Talk about budget, right? Minnesota, you need to learn from me. Oh boy. Anyway, so I decided to go back in time because I was kind of curious when the last time we had a Republican as a governor, and I did the math. By end of this year, it will be exactly 16 years since we had a Republican in governor office, being a governor of Minnesota. I'm like, well, that's a long time. I don't know if I can handle another 4 years of Democrats. Trust me, 20 years is enough. That being said, I'm like, well, what was his accomplishment? Was he successful? He's been, the governor was Pawlenty. He was the Republican governor for 2 terms. And it seemed like he was a pretty good guy for the most part, The one that stood out to me the most, besides this topic about to go over, was we were leading in Fortune 500. So what happened? What happened was the taxes went high for corporate, and corporate didn't want to pay that, so people stopped moving into Minnesota because of the high corporate taxes. 8.8 right now. We need to drop that down to 4 and maybe half a basis point every year. Did I say that correctly? Oh boy. Drop down half a point every year for the next 4 years to be competitive with Florida and Texas. So, to hopefully bring back the big corporate businesses back in Minnesota, more taxes in our pockets, more businesses. That being said, there was something that kind of stood out. Governor Pawlenty did a law in 2005 called a Q-Comp. Some of you may not know about it. Some teachers may know about it or may not know about it. Unions that represent the teachers should know about this. Governor Walz, maybe Crying Amy's on board with this too, is proposing to eliminate Q-Comp, capital Q, space comp, C-O-M-P. Google that. Propose is to optional statewide program that provides additional. So what is it? That's what we want to know, right? What is it? Let's talk about that first. It's an optional statewide program that provides additional funding to districts or charter schools to support, reward, and develop teachers. Like continuing teachers training and so forth with new modern, programs and ways to better teach students and so forth, right? The components is to receive funds. Schools must implement a plan covering career advancements, professional development, teacher evaluation, which is very important. We want to make sure teachers are doing good based on how students are graduating or passing their class, right? And performance pay. That would be very, very important, right? The performance pay, which if you do well, you should get, more pay. I 110% with you. Teachers are very, very important to making sure the kids learn what they need to do and to raise them when it comes to academics, right? That's very important. So, and Democrats, Governor Walz, they want to propose to eliminate it in 2027, the Q comp phase out that will lead to pay cuts for thousands of teachers and removing funding for essential jobs, embedded professionalism development, meaning, I literally had to look this up, eliminating the paid time, resources, and expert support that allows teachers to learn, right? Collaborate and improve the classroom instructions during school days, because teachers do go to training, to learn new stuff that younger teachers are learning in college, which is very, very important to kind of keep it up to date with all the new technology coming out these days. Make sure the mic was on. So what they want to do is eliminate of in-school support, meaning schools can no longer afford to hire instructional coaches, mentors, or facilitators who provide real-time feedback and support the teachers. So the person you went to help, mentor you through how to go through how to deal with students in the modern time, it's gone. Loss of paid collaboration time. So teachers lose the paid scheduled time. Oh, my battery's about to die. Let's see. To meet with colleagues, analyze students' data, and plan curriculum, often forcing this work onto unpaid personal hours. So you will lose money. There's no more, hey, I'm still on the clock. I'm, collaborating with other teachers. How much time do I have on my laptop? Let's take a look. I'm at 30%. I'm okay. Decreased teacher retention. Without opportunities for growth and support, teachers' morals suffer and high turnover rates increase, particularly in high need, under-resourced schools. So when your income goes down, your motivation goes down. When there's no opportunities for advancement and pay because you're doing really well in teaching your students and your students are passing, the classes and stuff, you will no longer have that extra bonus or the pay increase. And so it could be very negative mentally and draining, especially some of these schools where you're not getting paid that much already. So, yeah. Reduce opportunities for novice teachers. New teachers are left to struggle alone. Without structural peer support or mentorship cause them to leave the professionals earlier. And we have already seen that older teachers have quit. They have retired early, or not retired, but they retired. They want to continue teaching because they love teaching and they're willing to continue teaching, but they said, we're done. I did my 20 years. I'm 60 years old. It's not worth it. Or they say, you know what? It's not worth it anymore. I quit. I'll just be a truck driver. Because I'm sure truck drivers get paid more than teachers, right? Teachers are quitting because it's always stressful enough as it is. But if you remove this Q comp program, eliminate or phase it out, it's going to be very, very difficult for teachers to maintain their jobs at this point. Shift to ineffective training models. Districts may be focused to abandon ongoing high-quality professional learning in favor of one-off or sit-and-get workshops, which are less effective at changing teachers' practice. Now, I don't understand that completely. My understanding based on is more workshop. Hey, spend, 3-4 hours today and you're going to learn as much as possible within that short period of time. Hopefully you retain it. If not, sorry, I don't like that. I struggled as a kid to retain information. It had to be repeated a number of times. I had to practice a number of times before I was able to retain it. So, looks like my light's about to go out too. I'm working on a low budget here. Bear with me. Currently, responsive teachers is a student-centered, research-based approach that connects students. So they want to replace it with this new program, CRT, currently responsive teaching, is a student-centered, research-based approach that connects students' cultural background, language, and life experiences to classroom instructions to make learning more relative and effective. In other words, they want to talk about fuzzy feelings about their culture, and it's going to be very much, I don't know how to say it exactly, but it's not math, reading, science, less of that, more about culture. And that is not what we want in our classrooms. In fact, I recommend we remove anything that has to do with minorities in classrooms. Yes, bring it up once or twice as part of the class, but to bring it up every day, as a cultural learning, it's horrible. I think that will create more division in kids, and that's not what we want. So let's talk numbers. Let me read this here quick. As of early 2025, the future of QComp is still being debated in Minnesota House and Senate with a proposal like HF 2433 suggesting significant change to the program. I'm guessing it has to do with the cultural responsive teaching based on cultural backgrounds, language, all that stuff, but I didn't quite look into that, but they wanted to remove it. So let's talk numbers. Teachers. So example A, teacher who receives $3,500 via QComp for doing a phenomenal job, for being a teacher for such a long time, you will usually receive about $3,500 extra per year. If they eliminate the comp, you would lose the 35, but you'll gain $1,200 in tax credit. Net loss, $2,300. So you're losing money. Example B, teacher who receives $2,000 via QComp. Comp eliminates $2,000 if you eliminate the QComp. Tax credit of $1,200. Net loss of $800. So your pay will go down. Example C, teacher who never qualified for comp, brand new, fresh, from college. QComp eliminate $0 because they don't have history. Tax credit of $1,200, so they will actually be up. And so new teachers will benefit while the older teachers that have been around for a long time and worked really hard will lose significant. And also, there is more losses too. I think the job will become a lot more difficult. You will be more on your own. You may have to retrain yourself on how you go about teaching students with the new program, CRT. Connect students' cultural backgrounds, language, life experiences to classroom instructions. That's something you have to pick up on your own or train yourself because they will no longer provide those programs to help you adjust to the new structure. Because that's what Comp Q did, is continuing training teachers to make sure they're up to date, no longer. So you're gonna have to learn this pretty quick during your summer vacation. So I know teachers tend to be more liberal. You will lose significant portion of your paycheck, especially if you're an older teacher. If you're a new teacher, you will no longer have you will not have the support. Even the old teachers will not have the support. Old teachers may leave, and new teachers will be like, "Who do I go help? For mentoring because I need help on how to deal with these students." Right? This sounds really really horrible to remove the Q comp. Like I said, I just discovered it today. I'm just a nobody, right? And I'm just learning of this for the first time. It wasn't even in my radar if I didn't go back in time to find out when was the last Republican governor who made this into a law. So you gotta thank the Republicans for increase of pay. I am very concerned that many teachers will vote not knowing that their pay may go down significantly, and they'll lose a lot of the tools they're so happy to have when it comes to updating themselves, when it comes to additional training for free, probably getting paid during that time as well too. I am very, very concerned where Minnesota is going. I will definitely bring this up when the debates are happening, or if I ever go in front of news, if Fox ever, calls me. But as of right now, I'm a nobody, but I am aware of this now. And I will keep this in my notes, and I'll definitely bring this up and see where other Democrats are standing on this, which right now is pretty much Amy Klobuchar, and see where the other Republicans stand on, because they may be in support of removing the Q comp. I don't know. No Republican besides me is willing to go deep dive into anything. They're very broad stroke. Oh, I'll cut taxes. Oh, I'll do this. It's very, very broad. They're not really going into details on how they want to help the everyday Minnesota. So I don't know. It's weird. I'm hoping we keep this. I'm not a teacher, so it's not going to affect me much unless I have kids. And it will actually affect a lot of parents too, because if they start teaching this nonsense, make sure I say it right, culturally responsive teaching, right? Whereas about, where was it? Cultural backgrounds, language, life experiences, and all that stuff. Parents may have to pull students out and start maybe investing in private schools or homeschool at this point, because schools may drop. Grades will definitely drop for sure, because it's not about grades anymore. It's about, identity. Pretty much, that's what it is. That's the terminology I was looking for. It's about the identity, not so much math and science and so forth, or how they feel. I'm pretty sure that's included in that too. So I'm very, very concerned of the actions and reactions and the unintended consequences if we should remove this Q comp. I'm still learning. But it is on my radar, and I will definitely follow up on this. Ross Nova shooting forward, brighter, bolder, with retaining Q comp and keeping teachers in school for a better tomorrow. Thank you.